Now, I want to start by saying this is an absolute...
vaccine. Like, really...
What the fuck are we doing, Mom?
It's Riley.
What are we doing?
Unless you want to go through
we do our first one in person in like a year? And this is how you want to start it? No, I just want to say this is like a complete cob job. This is the first time we've done one. We don't have our sheet. We're just using the old table with no sheet. We got no lighting. I realize that this is the...
Our quasi-producer got the hell out of here.
Yeah. Producer's gone.
Here at podcast goes, oh, the why?
Yeah, exactly. And then I realized that we're using the wrong SD card for the GoPro. So we have to finish this podcast in an hour and 15 because that's all the storage we have. So this is going pretty well. I like the Discord podcast better.
Talk about on the fly.
You guys didn't see it, but before this, Mom was like, oh my God, you're in my way. I need specific lighting. We're turning into like Vin Diesel and The Rock and Fury. We do the podcast, but we secretly don't like each other.
I wanted just certain lighting. Little did I know we're doing this on a shoestring.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, this is like if the podcast had no budget, which it basically doesn't have a budget because it's just that easy. It's basically, let's just throw this together.
But let's talk about makeup brushes, shall we?
Yeah. I was telling. When you start a podcast to anyone out there and you do all the social media stuff, you get to the point where you start getting people that want to not sponsor you, but like they give you commissions on things you promote. Some of the stuff that we get is just ridiculous. Like I've gotten like, well, what was the one that we got the other day? It was like a 32-foot light ring, but each light was like a foot apart. So it's like, what's the point of these? Yeah.
Unless you hang it outside. But...
Exactly. So we're also using one Yeti mic, which we've done in the past, but we're going to basically see how this goes. So if the audio's a little off, that's probably why. Again, we're working on...
Cut us some slack.
Yeah, we're in... This is like... Again,
can you say no budget?
Yeah. We're not at low budget, we're at no budget.
No budget? Yeah. Can you say no budget?
Let's just find a table and throw it together. But this is how every podcast starts. I thought we were past this at episode 120 or whatever we're on. But we're not.
We like to run a tight ship here. Keep the cost low.
It's the first time Mom and I...
That's right.
Yeah. I can't tell the last time Mom and I actually were able to kick each other under the table.
We've been in the same room in a while.
Yeah, really. Now I feel cramped. We're
sandwiched literally.
I have a wall 2 feet behind me, and then we got an elliptical in the back.
I went from shit corner to shittier alley. I'm going backwards here.
It's a tough one, but yeah, I mean, so we didn't really go over everything with everyone when I left.
But the mascot is still here. They can't see it on the camera. Bobo's here.
Oh, is Bobo behind you?
Of course he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he
is.
He's
not behind you.
Yes.
Oh, he is behind you.
Ta-da!
Oh, I didn't even see him. Yeah. Bobo's to the right.
He's got to be here for the
just
podcast.
like the good old days.
It's like the good old days. He's got to give us stories.
So when I left, I really didn't get to tell everyone kind of like what happened in the sense of Thanksgiving, lots of traveling ideally. Yeah. So it's like I told everyone I might not be back till January, which might happen just because of the timings, but it really depends on the trips. Because I'll have a week.
What do you mean by back? Because you're online.
I'm online, but I haven't been doing the streams. I've just been doing the recordings.
Back. Yeah, streaming. Okay.
Streaming is where we make our bread and butter, Ma.
I know, but you can't do that here.
I could, but no green screen. You got the mic. There's only certain things. I only have one monitor, which actually you realize first world problems. But like when you're down a monitor, Mom, I don't even. I come back here for one freaking week.
Dear Santa, I need a monitor.
Dear Santa,
I want to thank you.
Oh God!
I've been very good. I want a green screen.
I want my own space. Just build me a room in the house.
Oh my God!
I
want a studio, Santa.
So we're recording this the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving, then I have a week to myself essentially. Then potential travel. And then another week, and then Santa, like Christmas, and I'm back for Christmas. So that's why it's like, what's the point of
doing that? There's an extra week in there. I don't think it's that close. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's that close.
Well, I'd like to get one more weekend, but we'll see. Yeah. So that's why this is kind of a cob job. We didn't want to put something completely together until we figured it out. Kenny and Missy come back on Monday, so I'm sure Kenny and I will do a podcast. I kind of want to bang out a couple podcasts this week, just so I haven't backlogged. But
don't assume. Your brothers are lazy.
I'll make Kenny do it.
They don't want to do that.
Kenny hasn't done a podcast with me since like last December. Do you know what that's like, Mother?
No, well. Your son's
You know what it's like
ignoring
not
you?
having.
Of course.
You know what it's like. You know what it's like when Kate gives you the call. Chris, I need you to get on Rust, but he won't do a podcast with me.
That's right. Gotta remember that.
Hopefully, when because Mike's upstairs. And,
you gotta write down. Sure, Kitty. Let me put the date and the time.
Yeah. Started marking this stuff.
Yeah.
But,
Keep it track.
Yeah. All we've been doing. I mean, I have to say, it has been a pretty. I guess relaxing is the right word in the sense of we've just been watching movies like crazy.
Yeah.
So we got through pretty much all the Deadpools. We got through all the.
I didn't watch them all.
Oh yeah, Mike and
I've
I.
seen them.
Mike basically. Oh God, not to go into. We might not even talk about articles at this point, but we only have an hour 15. But the drive back on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, Grandma came down towards me, North Carolina. Then we took the drive up. Michael, the night before the drive, goes, "Let's watch Deadpool 2."
Yeah. So you're ready for Deadpool 3.
So I'm ready for Deadpool 3. He starts this at like 10.
Yeah.
We have to get up at 7 in the morning to drive. Oh, that's about it.
Yeah. 7:30.
And I'm sitting shotgun. I look in the back. Mike's passed out in the I'm like, he gets a bed basically in the back of this SUV that we rented.
Yeah.
I'm over here. My mom's like, tell me when the left turn is.
Come on.
I'm working the GPS.
Get out of here.
Get it together, you little shit.
Get out of here.
So it wasn't a bad drive, but I will say anything more than 6 hours, I'm like.
The weather was good.
Yeah, no traffic either.
The traffic was going.
Once you get up towards Washington, D.C., that's when you got to be a little like, oh no, are we going to hit traffic? But luckily we didn't have
Yeah, that's a sketchy area. And once you get there, you're like, oh my God, how much more? It's still like 3 hours. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But no, I don't.
Wasn't too
make
bad.
a habit of that drive.
Yeah. I mean, flying's not great either because you have to go to Charlotte, then to New Bern. But there's a gaming area in the Charlotte airport now.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, I can get some work done in here.
I don't mind driving it. It was stressful because I was taking my mother down and she had a broken arm. So I wanted her to be comfortable. Didn't know how many times we'd have to stop and all that. So that made the trip down stressful. Coming home, obviously it wasn't bad. It's just nice if you could break it up and do it more leisurely, like with somebody else driving. But I'm either stuck in the passenger seat the whole time because your dad doesn't want me to drive. Or I'm driving the whole time because I don't want to give it up to you guys.
My dad does this great trick where he goes, you come with me so you can do half the drive. And then he never relinquishes the wheel. So he ends up driving the whole time and you're like, why was I here?
Which I don't mind, but it's still kind of boring to just sit there for 7 hours in the car trying to make conversation with somebody because you're trying to keep them awake and interested or working the podcast.
I mean, Mom just made me watch Steve Bannon or listen to Steve Bannon the whole time.
No, we didn't listen to the whole time.
Listen, one thing I gotta say though. No, we drove on Tuesday. Like we got here on Tuesday.
I didn't put him on though, did I?
Yeah, you did. We watched it. Yeah, remember? Oh. And I was like, "Hey, Charlie Kirk, how many commercials do you have?" Right. Charlie Kirk. Listen, I like Charlie Kirk. He's a nice dude, but.
Yeah. Well,
is he the only commercial on the channel?
Basically, he paid. He's got to sell those Chump 47 hats. He got to pay all those.
I hope he's doing a good job, but based on how many times they're running that damn thing, I think people aren't wanting the hat.
He's got a lot of those hats, boy. Let me tell you.
But so we did that for
anything podcast, anything on the radio to get us on the trip.
We got through probably about 3 hours of podcasting. Then we did the Spotify game, and then. I had one meeting, and then that was pretty much it. It wasn't a bad drive. It's just like once you hit that 6 hour mark, you're like, oh God.
Well,
and my mom's force feeding me. Yeah. You can eat.
I'm sure if you have to do it often, you get used to it. Like I used to think the 3 hours to Lake George was tedious.
Yeah. Well, Uncle Jerry.
That I do on my own.
So the uncle that lives by me, our Aunt Sue, who you all have met from the podcast that we did with her.
Yep.
She lives down the street from me, and they're from Lake George. That's a 12-hour drive. Uncle Jerry. So Susan's husband would do that like 10 times.
But I don't think he stayed. I thought he stayed over. Didn't he stay over? Or did he drive it straight through? I'm not really sure. A couple of times he might have gone straight through. But yeah, he hasn't done that in a while. He was doing it frequently when they moved. But now I think he's kind of leveled that. I don't think he's done that in a year. Yeah. Maybe. They're trying to do it again, but...
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yeah. But
it's one of those things where it's close enough to drive... but a little too inconvenient to fly.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes it hard.
If it was a direct flight, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But if it, unfortunately, the airport that's literally 5 minutes away from my house is, it's a small airport, so no direct flights are to it, so you have to go through Charlotte, which is, I think they said is literally like the top 10 busiest
or you have to go to Raleigh and drive a couple hours, or Wilmington and drive. After that, though, I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah. That's true.
That's a walk in the
park. It does make you feel like you can do that at any time. the 2 hours.
Well, there's one near you. It's either the Greenville or Wilmington. That's like 40
Wilmington's
minutes away.
No, it's not 40.
Something's not that far.
Wilmington's probably about an hour and a half.
Oh, I thought this was closer because I saw something and I said, hey, that's about the same as Newark for us, so that's not that bad. So maybe I'm off.
Yeah.
I didn't think, the one you guys took me to, I didn't think that was that far. Was it Greenville you took me to? It's like a 40-minute ride. Anyhow.
Yeah, I'm really not sure.
There might be ways to do it over time, but still, yeah, it's because it's New Bern. You guys are in the middle of nowhere.
We're in the middle of nowhere. We're one of those up-and-coming places that you're not supposed to talk about because everyone starts coming. But I like to think I was ground zero, so
yeah, that's a very nice area.
I fixed everyone's internet in the city,
there you go. The internet king of New Bern.
I can't even go outside anymore without signing autographs. You're the guy that fixed the Optimum.
King Optimum.
You're the one that called 50 times and yelled at them.
You're the annoying one.
Exactly.
Sir pain in the ass.
Yeah.
We thank you.
Are you the one hogging the internet? No, it's not me.
Yeah.
As I'm in there cutting people's lines.
As your apartment's glowing in the dark out the windows. He's the one.
Yeah, but all in all, it was a good round trip. So we're here for a while. Kenny gets in Monday. Everyone else is here. Missy Buns is coming, which I'm excited for.
Oh my gosh.
Missy's going to be on the podcast next week.
Don't be upset.
Bo does not get happy when he hears that Missy's coming.
He doesn't
home.
appreciate that you're doing jigs over Missy Buns and,
Well, again, she's my niece.
Bo barely gets a hug,
Are you kidding me? I pet Bo all day. Sometimes Bobo's looking good. Yeah, so I guess we could get started. I mean, I don't even know.
We already did.
The articles get started because right now everything's just Trump picking his cabinet just like last week. So there's not too much. Let me pull up my articles too. I had a couple good ones.
Everything's on hold until 47 gets into office. Then the stories will start again. Plus it's the holidays.
Well, one article we don't have, which I believe happened since we last podcasted, was Trump has been everything going on. Ukraine's like, oh, we'll do a peace deal. Putin's like, we'll do a peace deal. China's like, oh, we're happy to work with America. All great things. And then Biden goes, hey, how about we bomb Russia? It's like,
you can have our missiles.
It's kind of ridiculous how that turned out. Like, it's kind of like, oh, we have one president who's coming, trying to do something great, whether you like him or not. And then the current president goes, let's screw the president coming in. It kind of goes to show you, like, it's almost like a civil war. We're not all on the same side, no matter how much they preach it. They want him to look bad.
The hypocrisy, too, this last couple of days, they've been screaming about the ICC, the International Criminal Court.
Oh, yeah.
Issuing warrants for the arrest of Netanyahu.
Right.
And the defense IDF minister, what's his name, Gallant. And meanwhile, people are like, okay, you didn't issue anything for Putin or Zelensky, but you're going after the Prime Minister of Israel, the country that was attacked. And now you've got the UK, well, obviously, even Biden came out and said, no, that's ridiculous. The Trump administration says, yeah, we're going to put a stop to that. And, was it not Poland, Hungary said, yeah, no, he invited Netanyahu to come to his country for dinner. And but the UK, I think they just announced that if he comes, he will be arrested. So did Canada. Absurd. So now the ICC barely had any credibility to begin with. So now it's just basically garbage.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been paying attention to the story itself. I just saw the bombing run, and I was just like, what are we doing? Well,
it's been highlighted by that fact. So as this bombing's going on, we're talking about World War III, the Russian...
Which now we're even closer. We thought we were finally coming to the end of this with Trump, but Biden's like, cool story. And again, let's be honest, Biden's not the one making the decision.
Yeah, we know who's making the decision.
This guy couldn't even figure out who the Celtics were the other day.
I didn't even see that. I can't even watch him anymore. It's just... Yeah. Gut-wrenching to me.
Just ride off into the sunset, Joe.
He's the commander-in-chief of people that young men and women we have deployed all around the world, and this is the quality of the leadership. Makes you nervous.
Now the conspiracy is: did someone tell him to do it on purpose so they can take him out of office, put Kamala in? That seems like the play.
The fact that somebody could tell him to do something, the executive leader of the executive branch, I don't know. You can't even. I don't know. She's off in Hawaii, isn't she?
Yeah, I think she's still trying to figure out this divorce. Don't know if it's real or not, but apparently she's divorcing her. Yeah.
The alleged
I won't say it's definite, but there's definitely been some rumors
that
it's not going too well between the two of them after the loss.
And I just saw a report that said Liz Cheney cost her the Rust Belt. could call Kamala campaign. Let's bring Liz Cheney in. Yeah,
Well,
that's a good idea.
Now that I'm home, I get to talk to my liberal friends at the gym in New Jersey, and they're like, she just ran the worst campaign I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it was so hard. Of course, they voted for her because some of them are just diehard Democrats that just don't want Trump to win. And even they're like, man, it was like the hardest vote I've ever had to do because they were like, I think one of my friends was telling me, I forget, he kind of worded it weird, so I couldn't tell if he did it or not. But he's like, I don't know, but it seems like he was about to pick someone and he just decided not to vote. Like,
I don't believe her votes. I really don't. I don't think she got 71 million.
Well, luckily, Mom, we don't have to worry about it.
Well, we do because, I tell you, election integrity works both ways. I want a clean, fair election. I want the data. I need to know the facts. We haven't had that in, I don't know, maybe decades. Who knows? But I'm all for election integrity. My understanding, or I've heard, I haven't heard him say it, but that is number one. Same day voting, no more mail-in ballots. You cast your vote. We know who won the race by that night for federal elections.
Right.
Let's get accurate numbers so we know who actually won what. Maybe Trump didn't win in a landslide. It does. Whoever won.
Well, I
won.
see he's losing the popular vote now. Have you been paying attention?
I don't know if he lost popular vote, but it's
less
not.
than
It wasn't a
50%.
landslide.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that's true either. We'll never know because we don't have accurate data. There are states that are still counting.
Yeah, that's true
Still
too.
counting. It's absurd.
Yeah, that is kind of wild to think about. Let's see. Oh wow, we can't show everyone the articles, so we don't have the TV here. We don't have
Can hold it up to the GoPro.
Where's Mike? Hey, yeah, Mike, I need you
Where's
to.
the producer?
Where's
He's
the-
at the Y having a sauna.
Yeah, Mike's in a sauna with a bunch of dudes at a YMCA.
Hey, what are you trying to imply about my son?
I'm implying shit about the YMCA. No. YMCA allows too much to fly in those places. Everyone who's been to a YMCA knows what I'm talking about.
He gets out when the old men come in.
I hope so. Fighting them
off.
off.
Creeps, out of here.
Yeah, we gotta up the budget. I need a TV, a portable TV.
You can pay for that one.
Let's see. What do I want to?
Dear Santa.
Dear Santa.
I need a portable TV. Oh my God.
I also need a new podcast host.
Santa rolls his freaking eyes when he gets to the Chris Caducci list.
Yeah. It's like, what the?
Did he not age at all?
That was rude. He doesn't say that, I swear.
Wait, check the data, Elf. What year was he born?
Oh, God.
He keeps asking for the same shit.
He's asking for the same thing 28 years in a row. Okay. So let's start with this first one. I don't know if you saw. We kind of somewhat talked about this, which was.
I don't know. What's the first one?
So this is one I pulled up, which is the leak reveals a huge Wall Street crypto bombshell as it surges towards the $100,000 price.
You didn't send it to me, did you?
No, I didn't send you articles. That's my fault. So as we were talking about yesterday, what are you laughing at over there?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Bombshell.
I'm still thinking about Christmas. Jeez. But again, I'm blocked by an ad blocker. So basically, what's wrong with you? Get it together. What?
You can't show it.
It's a guy. We're running out of storage. We just started. You're wasting our hour and 15. We're running out of time. We're on a timer. So, ever since like the stock market just rose to the roof, we started talking about post-election, a lot like NASDAQ, all that stuff went up. Then you look at the cryptos, and the cryptos are starting to rise again. Now, Mike told us, which I saw, I'm sure some of you guys may have seen it, that kid that just did that rug pull twice on stream.
Yeah.
We're at the point, and it's kind of a joke in the business world right now for those of you that don't pay attention to finance because you're too young or whatever. But this kid, he's like 13 or 14. He's basically doing a pump and dump scheme live in front of an audience, and basically everyone's like putting money in, and at the end he basically flips everyone off. sells and
Yeah.
makes like $30,000, and then Ruggs pulls, and everyone's like, "Oh,
intense,
wow, what a scummy kid!" And then literally 2 days later, he does the same thing and makes 10K. It's like, hey guys, okay, first time it's like, hey, shame on you. Second time, what did you think was gonna happen? So, I do feel like
Makes me wonder about these crypto.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I do feel like these cryptos are kind of becoming a joke in a sense, and I think it's stuff like that that really makes people question the motives of crypto.
What's a 10 or 14-year-old doing trading crypto? How is he legally able to do that?
I don't know how that works. Well, that's the regulations, right? There's no regulation with crypto and
But
Ethereum.
even an age thing?
I don't know.
Do you have to clear it through an account and an adult has to sign
Yeah, that's a good point too, which means the parents were in on it. But
Well, the kids use a mom and dad's account and they don't even know it.
yeah,
I have to grab a tissue. We have any down here?
I don't think so. You can head up.
No, I got paper towel.
Oh, okay. Is
I
this
just can't get mine.
just push the damn chair in?
Oh, jeez. No, I can't reach my knee always.
Yeah, here, I'll get it. Where is it?
In the cabinet.
God, this is such a goddamn struggle.
Why is this here?
This is.
No, the cabinet. Those are close. See the roll of paper towels right in front of you? Thank you.
You want the whole goddamn roll?
No, just need one.
You want the damn roll?
Thank you. I want to see my nose cook on TV.
Yeah. I'll make sure to zoom in on it when editing. But I do feel like it kind of turns these cryptos into a joke. Like, even if there were to be a rise, like let's just say crypto, I don't know what it's at, Bitcoin specifically, I don't know what it's at right now. Let's say it's at 45. That's just a guess.
Oh, I said something saying that could hit 100. Could tap out.
That's what I'm looking at
100.
right now. It's like, we've never come close to that. These projections, no one's ever hit the projection right.
Oh, hello.
Oh, God. Too much pizza.
Get it below.
Yeah. So when all this happens, it's like, oh, we get there, it could happen, and then all these crypto scams come out, or rug pulls come out, and then people kind of like, whoa, when it comes to crypto. Right. So that's why I can never see crypto really taking off, because there's too much speculation and too much screwery going on.
Well, don't say that. You're going to sound foolish, because it could take off. It just, if they regulate it.
Yeah, but then, now the next question is it really crypto if it's regulated? And then who's going to regulate it? Because otherwise you just made a digital currency.
Trump was going all in on it beforehand, right? During his campaign, he says, we're going to back it. We're going to go with the crypto. We're going to make it a wonderful, beautiful thing.
I hope, but I don't know how you do it. Because that's not really we talk about crypto like it's ours, when in reality it's a global thing.
Well,
so that's where I got.
It is a form of trading that kind of keeps you a little bit off the radar.
Yeah, there's a lot of sketchy shit that goes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that, though. I thought I had an article that said almost, or a headline that said, yeah, Bitcoin flirts with $100,000 live quote. Might be an old one, like from a couple days ago. Yeah, 98,000.
That's not where it's at right now. Is it really?
Yeah. Bitcoin,
Holy
USD
shit.
coin. Well, I don't know if this is now. I don't know if this is a live quote now or if the headline.
Whoa, hold on. If that's true, Bitcoin price USD. Wow, we might have to just cut all this out. I did not realize that it was at 97 right now.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Now I look like an idiot. Thanks, Ma. You could have warned me.
I told you that. I said before you say that, it's not dead.
Wow.
Into the weekend. So
okay, I want you guys to take the last 5 minutes. I need you to cut it all out.
This might have been Friday's new 52-week.
Even then, I would have never thought that it... Yeah. I didn't think it passed 70.
No, it's up to 98,000.
Wow. And you people didn't want him in.
I know. Something to be said for it.
Now, again, hasn't hit 100,000 yet, so maybe I'm in the clear. But I might look like an idiot in a few weeks.
It is down 1,200. Almost 1,300. It was
It's down 1,300?
Well, it was down. See, well, from 98,000 it came down, so it's going down.
Oh, that's the live. I'm not looking at the live.
I don't know. 8 p.m. Eastern time, but I'm not sure what day.
Well, that's a live feed right now, right?
Is it definitely live, or is it something I pulled up?
Looks like a live.
Yeah, all right.
Do I even trust CNBC? How do I know they're not flubbing crypto numbers right now?
Well, is the market still going? Like, does the market ever shut down?
I don't think
for
so.
Crypto? Oh,
I don't believe so.
Because it is a Saturday, going into Saturday night.
Yeah, this is the stuff that I don't. Here's the problem, guys. I just never. We've seen so many people over the last 2-3 years come up with these crazy predictions of crypto that just never happened. So now when I hear 100,000, I'm always incredibly skeptical of whatever number is thrown out there. If they said it'll go to 70, that's more realistic. Now remember, we've had people say like it's going to go up to 500,000 by the end of the year, and it never comes anywhere close.
Yeah,
so
it's not regulated, so who's to say, right? It's a question of how many people. If you hype it up enough people get into it.
So what we're saying is take your life savings, throw it in the...
Right. There you go. Just
throw
it all on
find the youngest kid, 13 on Steam.
10-year-old can do it, damn it, why can't you?
Financial advice from the Cake Shop podcast. Oh, God. What else?
Legal. What's the legal thing? Past performance is not indicative.
Just one of those long disclaimers at the end.
We are not financial institution. We do not give fiduciary information. You will have to talk to your own advisor.
Who's this? Riley Gaines' husband, who has been here for 6 years, can't get a green card because he won't take the COVID vaccine. Yeah. He was a swimmer at the University of Kentucky, just like Riley. Legal aliens are not required to have any vaccines.
Think about how hard our government has made it for people migrating into this country legally in comparison with those who break the law. Because if you just walk across the southern border, you're given housing, you're given a driver's license, you're given money, and our government has never been able to answer basic questions about COVID and the vaccine. Like, if the mask work, why do we have to social distance? And if the 6-foot distance works, then why do we have to wear masks? And if both of those things work, then why the lockdowns? And if all three of those work, then why the vaccine? And if the
But her point was, he's been waiting years and years. They finally got a letter for months and months with he has to fill out yet more information about was he vaccinated. This is just to get his green card. Right. And he's been married to her for 2.5 years. He's a swimmer with the University of Kentucky. People are just walking off the border. They don't get it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. So either do away with all the paperwork altogether.
Right. It sounds like you're targeting certain people, right?
Yeah, legal ones. Yeah. You're targeting legal people who are doing it the legal way. You come over the border, you don't have to do any of that. So why do we even have an ICMS, whatever it's called, the organization? You know, the government has to answer these questions because if you're not going to do it for everybody, why are you doing it to some people? Yeah. What's the benefit for him? He won't get deported? Right now, I think he might be because he's still not considered a citizen, but he did do it legally and he's been waiting to get into the country. So anyhow, it's just ridiculous that the inconsistencies, the hypocrisies of what we have going on in this country.
Yeah. I am happy to see that people are starting to crack down on Fauci a little more. Like even like my far left-leaning friends who I always, one of these days we have to have at least some of them on the podcast, but even they agree. Like Fauci, the vaccine was a joke. Anything that has 10 boosters, you shouldn't be taking. Myocarditis was through the roof. There's tons of articles right now coming out about all the heart issues. Like heart attacks went up drastically ever since the vaccine came out, given, of course, you have outliers and whatever. But still, to see such an increase in stuff like that, myocarditis, which I might have said already. But, yeah, we're kind of at the point now. I think everyone's kind of in agreement that the lockdown was pointless. Vaccines were... Whether vaccines work or not is still a debate, but we know that
But hold on. Fauci came out and said masks don't work.
Yeah.
After telling him... Fauci came out and said, we don't know where the 6-foot idea came from.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, it's just like...
Wow,
that was just something that. Yeah. He has since stated these things. And I've heard through the grapevine in D.C. that certain Republican senators are allegedly refusing to confirm anybody unless they agree they will not investigate Fauci.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
That tell you?
It tells you that a lot of them are working with these pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
So
that the pharmaceuticals are protecting Mr. Fauci because, and that pharma paper, God bless RFK if he does actually come into power and gets confirmed, whatever. When those papers come out, I would urge everybody to do your own research because they're going to make it sound like it's a big nothing, and it is huge.
Right.
The data that they hid from the American people is going to shock those individuals who take a minute to look at it and say, what is this?
I also think that paperwork's the one that literally goes to show that a lot of it was just for money gain. Like, yeah. I'm pretty sure... I'm going to say allegedly because I don't remember the exact phrasing or what it was from, but one of the companies, again, I won't say which one because I'm not sure, it literally says, let's make a vaccine for money that does the bare minimum essentially. So
Wouldn't surprise me.
So that's just where we're at.
But we could not get that information. The Congress could not get that information out of Fauci. He refused to provide which one of these people on these boards, how much grant money and how much money they were getting from the pharmaceutical companies. Now all that will be exposed.
Right. But you know who's... hold on, let me think. I gotta go back to transition mode.
Just segue into it.
The only reason people don't know about this is because Google has had control the whole time. But guess what? Google is selling Chrome. They have to. Basically, we talked about this kind of recently jokingly in the sense of these internet companies and the browsers and whatever. They have too much power, right? Google is the biggest donator to the Kamala Harris Foundation, right? For her campaign that ended up failing. So Google now has to re-enter the... Okay. Google to sell Chrome and be banned from re-entering the browser market for 5 years. So basically, this kind of comes down to the monopolization of information, I guess you can say. So we know that Chrome, which, again, Google, you pay my bills, so Google, gotta be careful. But with Google, they have control of 99% of the media. Everyone uses some form of Chrome or Google, whatever. Right. Even Safari is the browser, but everything goes through Google. I don't think Apple has its own systems. DuckDuckGo is also a Google company, which, how's that work? I thought DuckDuckGo was supposed to be the safe one, but I don't know what happened. Maybe they got bought out, and the guy sold out. He said, fine, you can buy DuckDuckGo. But yeah, so basically it came out that because of the, I don't want to say suppression of information, but the ability to control information, basically, the court said, hey, you gotta... The U.S. Department of Justice antitrust officials said, hey, yeah, it's time you sell off Chrome. Like, you can't own all of this.
Yeah.
So, also, Chrome itself is fantastic from a device perspective of, like, being able to take my phone, shoot it to the TV, wherever it goes. So
do they have to sell it off or spin it off from the company and make it its
It sounds like they
company?
haven't decided yet, but it does say that paperwork is filed. We can see the authority. What was it? I saw something about breaking it up and subsetting it and maybe selling it off, but that we're still in the beginning stages of this, so we're not quite.
Rumor has it Musk is going to buy MSNBC.
Do you think he will?
I thought he said that it's pretty certain he will.
I thought he was joking, but
maybe. I don't know.
I think we talked about this on the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago. I don't know if I want that. He already owns Twitter. He does everything else. Twitter's kind of like the Wild West, which I don't mind that for Twitter, but for like a main news source, like an actual news source.
I just don't think it's worth it to him because it's not the future of communications.
Exactly.
These
They're all
social
dying.
media, right. The network TVs, nobody's really watching them.
Yeah.
Or not enough that it matters. And the little market share that they're getting just proves that nobody really watches the stuff.
Yeah. I don't know how the View's still going, but I believe the government pays for the View, which is ridiculous.
All they do is read disclaimers.
I know. Well, you see what happened with... Yeah, you saw the Joe Rogan thing? Did you watch that? They said this Joe Rogan guy who's pushed the election, he believes in dragons. Did you see what Joe Rogan did?
I saw that headline.
He made it his profile. I believe in dragons or whatever, dragon believer. And he just rips into him. And these ladies, I don't know how those people still have a show.
I don't know, but all they do is read disclaimers, legal disclaimers the last week.
I like to think the powers that be, like the higher ups in government, or I shouldn't say government, but they see who watches that, and that's like their IQ test. Yeah. If you're watching The View and that's where you get your information, you should not be allowed to vote.
Well, like I said, they used to say Morning Joe and Mika. They set the tone for the liberal media because it's the first one in the morning.
Right.
So that's where the Beltway, they flick them on to see, all right, what are the talking points today? What are we pushing today kind of thing.
Right.
Nonsensical stuff half the time, like making stuff up. And then it just goes on and on and on throughout the day. The same stuff. But now they've been coming down on Mika and Joe because they met with Trump in Mar-a-Lago.
Scharsborough, whatever. Joe
Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski. So now their followers are all pissed off because now they're meeting with Trump. For people who call Trump the Antichrist, whatever, every other name in the world, now they're meeting with him. But anyhow.
Well, their followers probably aren't the brightest in the shed anyway.
Well, they were saying this is all alleged. Joe Scarborough had an intern. Did you hear that story?
Nope. Give us oh my God, are we turning in the View? Spill the tea.
They were saying that he was really, really scared about Gaetz because Gaetz brought up this intern when they were going after him, and Scarborough was giving him a hard time. Apparently, this young female intern, she died, I forget what it was, heart attack or something in his office. I don't remember the story because I was not a big Joe Scarborough fan. But the rumor mill was saying that he is very nervous that Gaetz is going to open up an investigation into that because they were alleging that he was involved in it. Something happened to this young intern.
Mark this down, everyone. Mom's right.
It's all alleged. I'm not telling you it's true. I'm just saying that
We're
was
going to get a fucking cease and desist.
I know, we're gonna be so trouble. But the point is, that was in the news. I'm just quoting the news, and that they were very concerned with Gaetz. Well, now Gaetz isn't part of the...
Oh, yeah, the Gaetz story. We could go over that real fast because okay, so we talked about this last week. What's going on with Gaetz, how he dropped. I forget how far we got in that podcast, but a lot of things have unfolded. Like the day after we shot that podcast, or a couple days later, I should say. He withdrew. Yeah. DeSantis put him in a place of power.
No, he didn't. He suggested it, but
he didn't take it?
Apparently Gaetz does not want to go back into Congress.
Doesn't want to go back.
He doesn't want that job.
Gaetz is doing... okay, so Gaetz there was a couple cases against him that goes to an ethics committee, and then he suspiciously dropped before the case went through, is offered attorney general under Trump,
right?
Then decides not to take it. DeSantis says...
well, you go through a process. So when you get nominated for something, you get escorted around to all the senators because they do the confirming.
Right.
And you meet with them and you make your case. Why? And that's when many of them do their lobbying and they'll say, well, I like you, but my concerns are this or that. Or what type of... During that process, Gaetz decided, supposedly, that he didn't have the votes, basically. That too many of them said, I'm not voting for you unless you do such and such. And he was not prepared to do that such and such because it goes against Trump's agenda of what he promised the voters.
Right.
Having said that, he withdrew. That was the story. He said that, you know what, you need a good attorney general. You need a day one. They're not going to make it easy for me to get confirmed, so I'm backing out. Now, could his sex trafficking, alleged whatever, play a role in it? I don't know. I mean, I've seen some things about that look a little fishy.
I think we all have, but
they made an entire case to impeach a president on something that was totally made up, the Russia hoax, so they could make it really miserable with...
the only problem with it, maybe it's coincidence, but it's a tough coincidence, is, okay, you have this court case coming up, you drop your spot right before the court comes up to become assistant attorney general, and then you drop out of that. DeSantis offers to give you a spot, and now he's trying to go back into Congress, but you just say he doesn't want to. So,
no, he doesn't. Yeah. He has no. He
so
says he does not want to.
What's he doing? Retiring, or what's he doing?
No, he allegedly is going to write about what he knows about things that have been going on, which could be even scarier. But I don't know what he wants to do. There was an idea floated that he could be special counsel, investigating any one of the many things that have gone on during the Trump his impeachment. The voting in 2020, the election 2020. So he is an attorney. He could be appointed special counsel by the president to look into a specific thing. So he'd be under the attorney general. Gotcha.
So yeah, we'll have to see how that one unfolds because I feel like we haven't heard the last of Matt Gaetz. The Pentagon's Inspector General concedes to a House investigation that it misled the American people about National Guard troops being delayed to respond to the January 6 riots.
Yeah. So basically, the Inspector General concedes that it misled the American people. An alarming failure to adequately evaluate the actions of the senior Department of Defense officials, including the Secretary of the Army, who failed to communicate deployment orders to Walker, the commander, on January 6th. So in other words, they said, we couldn't go, we didn't have the orders. It turns out that the orders were never given. They were intentionally delayed. And they needed National Guard, right? Because everyone was walking, where's the National Guard? And there was a terrorist attack and everything else. Big question is, why? Why would the Pentagon delay sending troops to respond to the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol if it was putting the lives of congressional members in danger? Big question, right?
Yeah.
Why'd they lie about that? A lot of questions from that day.
Do you think it's a lot? Like, I try not to go right to the it's a lie sort of deal, but I was wondering when you have with something like the Pentagon, I feel like so much shit happens in there in the sense of piss poor communication that I do think that it could genuinely just happen. I think because of movies and stuff, we put these things like the Pentagon, the CIA, the FBI at such a high pedestal because of how they're portrayed in movies, and then you realize that they're kind of just as dysfunctional as any other company, if not more.
Well, that's one naive way of looking at it.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
But for those of us who have been around the town, you got to take it.
My mom just called me an idiot.
Hold on, no. I'm saying that's you're right. Taken by itself, you could say that. But I got a pipe bomber where the government said that the phone companies that sent corrupted information. After Trump won, the phone company said it was not corrupted. We never sent corrupted information. You can find that pipe bomber. The video from that day at the pipe bomber is missing, just from the time the guy was on the bench. Oh, we can't find that, or it got ruined, corrupted again. Now you add to this situation that they were supposed to be the National Guard, but they were told to stand down. Okay, why? Then I got Nancy Pelosi in the car saying, well, this is all my fault, right? To a daughter recording it. Okay, take that into consideration. Now I've got the guy that shot one of the women, the only person who was killed, Ashley Babbitt, one or two people that were shot that day. He's got an appalling record of bad shooting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just learned that one. That's the first we've heard of that. That came out last week. The fact that the Vice President of the United States, who was running for office and had to hear how many times that Trump twice was almost assassinated, never once brought up the fact that she was in the building with the pipe bomb, right?
Oh,
Why?
yeah.
Why? Makes no sense. So you're right. If you take each of those things individually, you could say, well, there's a lot of reasons why these things could happen.
But when you add everything that did happen that day,
something stinks
right.
that day. Something really stinks that day, and it needs to be investigated. And Liz Cheney did a shitty job with her committee of doing it. And as it turns
Take
out,
that, Liz.
Yeah, as it turns out, she went out. She spoke to somebody's client. And a lawyer came out recently and said she needs to be disbarred. She talked to my client and convinced my client, a witness at the committee, that she spoke to, which you're not supposed to do. Okay? So even that committee is called into question. It was never formed properly under the rules of the House of Representatives. That's the committee that investigated what was the whole thing is a mess.
Feds suspend unconstitutional search program after getting caught on video. So we talked about this before, but where is this? Like, what is this in reference to?
I don't know what the video was, but one of the airports.
Oh, okay. So
this has been going on for decades. So for those of you who travel, right, you go through the scanning thing. They pull you aside because they see something suspicious in your bag. Okay, you got to sit there while they go through your bag and make sure it's nothing contraband.
It's the worst.
Okay. Apparently, now I didn't watch the video. That's pretty damning. The DEA, now that's not TSA. This is the Drug Enforcement Agency. Apparently, they're able in some situations to take a backpack and search it if they have a suspicion that you might have something in it. Okay? Right. They've been doing this for decades, and in some cases, they take the bag away from you. And some citizens have been saying, hey, I don't know if they're planting something in my bag and they're going to arrest me for something. Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Or, by the way, maybe they have something in their bag and they're lying and saying something's planted. It's a poorly done, unconstitutional search and seizure.
Well, just seeing how TSA goes, I mean...
But at least TSA, you're there. True. They have probable cause in the sense that they see something in the video. They might be wrong, but that's probable cause. These are individuals, DEA officials, that are just saying, hey, you, I want your bag, I need to go search it. And they go in the back room and they search it. That's against the Constitution. There's no probable cause there. They're just saying, I want to search your bag. By right, you could say, where's your warrant? You have no right to go through my bag, but they're DEA. So finally, a citizens group, I forget the name of it, but they sued. And the court has said, you know what, this is unconstitutional. They can't do that anymore. The DOJ suspended the practice that the DEA called, they were calling them consensual encounters.
Institute for Justice. That's a great name.
Yes, consensual encounters. But some travelers are suing because their property was seized. And they're saying, no, this was not consensual. We're just told you have to give up your bag. And we know our Constitution. You can't search someone's house without a warrant. You can't search someone's bag without a warrant. Right. You have to have probable cause.
How come, I'm going to assume this is a school thing, but randomized drug testing, how is that allowed? Because aren't you just assuming, oh, that kid more, because here's the problem with that, and I remember this in high school. Like, there's always that one kid that was asked to take the randomized drug test multiple times. Like, I feel like that's targeting, right? So I wonder how that's allowed.
Well, then it's technically not random, or
Right.
they have to prove that it's randomized. Now, I don't know if there's something, as parents, you consent to this when your kid signs up for a sport, that if they have a reason to test you more frequently, if they have... You don't have a lot of rights when you're a kid.
Yeah, that's true.
It falls on your parents. But having said that, your parents are your guardians, and they're the ones who could say, no, I'm not signing that. But then they could not put you on a team if that's the policy.
I guess that's true.
Right? They're supposed to be random. Random means random. They don't single anybody out. It should be luck of the draw.
Yeah, I just remember, like with sports, I mean, I never once got randomly drug tested. I was just that good of a kid.
But you only played the one sport in high school. One season.
Well, no, because you're talking about soccer.
Well, yeah, but if you play sports,
I did track. I did, and then even
not in high school.
I did track in high school.
Oh, that's right. That's what you did. That's right. Yeah.
It was a star. But,
oh, come on.
Mom, I got my varsity letter. Right, you don't remember the freaking everyone standing? Cartucci,
Oh,
maybe that was a dream.
You're editing this out, right?
No.
But yes, okay. So you played a fall and spring sport. Yeah, I mean, if you weren't random, if it's totally random.
But like, I never got asked once. But I knew there were kids on my team in one season would get like 5 or 6. Like, I'll blur the name out, but that kid.
Do that.
Well, that's why I blur the name out. But he got drug tested like 6 times in the span of 3 months.
Yeah, I don't know if probably Kenny did, but I don't know if Mike did. Because Kenny played soccer. Well, he did soccer, track. I don't know if Michael did. Well, he didn't play any sport until.
Well, Michael did football,
only,
and then
yeah,
because he did AAU out of.
Yeah, he didn't.
Michael was better than high school.
He played high school sport, but just for the year, I thought it was. But I don't know. You'd have to. I don't know if he was ever drug tested, but I do know you consent to that as a parent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense then. I just didn't realize. But yeah, you have to prove the. You have to prove the randomization. But.
Well, honestly, that might not be a school requirement. That might be the high school. What is it, NCAA? They may require that athletes be tested.
Oh.
I don't know if that comes down, like trickles down to high school. If you play in certain leagues, you're required to do that with your student athletes. I don't know the ins and outs, but it might be a sports league rule, not necessarily a high school rule.
Henry Cavil plays a martial arts master who trained for over 500 years in upcoming Highlander movie.
I thought maybe if we talk about it, he'll pop onto the show or game with you.
Because we were real fast. So we watched Deadpool 2 and 3 because I never saw the third one that has Henry Cavill in there for a second. So then we watched Endgame. Yeah, good point.
Just
sorry.
giving away the spoilers.
Then we watched the Avengers movies, and then now it's like, when's Henry Cavill going to be part of the Marvel universe? He's already been
DC.
He's already been DC, which is Superman. So I'm surprised he hasn't had a part in there yet in the Marvel universe. Except apparently he might be the next Wolverine.
Yeah, they talked about that.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess they're kind of trying to put him in somewhere.
I don't know that he wants to be honest, because he did Superman, and I think now he's trying to get out into other things.
I have to say he's getting gray.
Yeah, I was gonna say as he gets older, it might not be something he wants to focus on if he wants to go into more serious shows. I don't know. But now this 500 martial arts thing has like a Witcher thing going on.
Yeah, that's probably true. Damn, we're plummeting through battery right now. Oh God, Mom, it's going south. I'm gonna have to just plug something in because we're recording and then doing the other.
I only had one more.
The only one. Which one did you have left?
My QuenchSea 3.0.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
The desalinator. I think this thing is great. I just
have. What the hell's a desalinator? You just made that up right now.
Takes the salt out. Desalinator. It's this cute. It's a tiny thing.
My fat ass thought I meant take out the salads. I was like, yeah, get rid of them. Screw those things.
Kickstarter Company developed this thing. It does 2 liters per hour, and you do it by hand. So think of all the sailors out at sea when they're shipwrecked, right? They have no water and they're surrounded by it.
Oh.
Now they can generate. As they're sitting in the boat about to die, they can generate.
You want some water?
2 liters every hour. They get the salt out. They can drink the water.
Wow, damn, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, seawater is forced through a triple filtration, and through reverse osmosis membrane. It removes the salt, bacteria, viruses, and microplastics.
Send them to Africa.
Yeah,
That's usually where they go first.
Yeah, see a picture of it. I sent it to you.
I saw a whole thing. I saw a whole thing on like, it's kind of horrible, but like, you know, remember the commercial for like the straws that the African kids could use?
Yeah.
Like,
they don't work.
do you know how much? Well, whether they work or not wasn't really the question, but you know that we basically just beta test everything on those poor kids.
Oh, I'm
like,
sure.
like the amount of kids that died in like the alpha or beta process of those. It's astronomical. It's like how many kids can we get rid of before we have a working product?
Yeah, because they're...
It's all they have. They'll take anything, so it makes sense. But that's the desal.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Damn, it looks like a...
So it's a little pump, and there's two tubes. One tube draws it out of the ocean, and the other one goes into a...
Wait, guys.
A cup. Yeah.
This is what it looks like.
Get in.
Mike, where are you? Sliding in frame. Yeah. Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. I thought, you hear about that forever. You're surrounded by water when you're shipwrecked, right? Or you're at sea, and you can't drink any of it because it's all salted. And something that simple. Now, you got to remember to grab that as the boat's going down so you have it. But it's just as simple, and you don't need power.
Huh. Wow, way to bring the randomest article.
Sorry, I like to throw in a little science every now and then.
There wasn't much gaming stuff either, so. I know we had the Game Awards. Black Myth Wukong won Game of the Year.
You told me that.
Which I kind of knew. There were some games in there. I didn't play them this year because I never heard of it. Everyone tells me to play the Final Fantasy games. I'm sure you've heard of Final Fantasy. Oh, really?
No, I don't follow those things.
But I never followed it either. Final Fantasy's been around since the 90s. But
what's this Rust one that you guys were talking about?
Oh, Rust is... So, my brother, Ken, the middle child, got really into Rust over the last year, I would say. Rust is a survival game where you're playing against other players. Yeah. So you build a base with your friends. You basically survive on an island.
Oh, that's neat.
It's neat. Kenny takes that shit so seriously. Yes, some of the words.
That's my boy.
Kenny treats it like you would think it was Mussolini. You do this or I'll shoot you, this stuff like that.
Trust me, if I had to choose in that scenario, I'm taking Kenny. Screw you and Mike. Kenny's going. I pick the son that's prepared.
My joke is Kenny won't clean his room, but he'll have every box organized in that game. He has everything down to a science, to a schedule. But one of the funniest things that Kenny did, I will always laugh at this, and I wish I recorded it, but we never did, was when you build a base, right, your goal is to not let anyone into that base. Mm-hmm. So Kenny makes almost like a door in between where the actual base starts and then almost like a hallway. In Texas, you have the screen door and then there's a hallway to the main door. Yeah. Kind of like that. Yeah. So Kenny would stand up top and he would say, "Would anyone like to come and challenge me to a duel in one-on-one combat?" Guys would come in with a sword because that's all they had, and Kenny would get down, just shoot him in the face, and go, "Another one has fallen." He would do that for hours because he was so bored during the night cycles. God. But Kenny takes that game seriously. Kenny won't take any other game seriously. But we did a prop hunt recording the other day in a different game. Kenny was pretty good. It's like hide and seek. We play it with Jen's daughter.
Kenny is prepared for the apocalypse. He knows it's coming.
Kenny knows what's ready. Yeah. Kenny knows. But,
he's prepping right now for when that day comes.
Rust is a very difficult game because there are some kids that are just...
Serious?
Real. Yeah, I mean, those people treat that as a lifestyle. There are people that have... Kenny said there's one of his friends... Kenny's got, the friends that Kenny brings in... Which they're just guys all over the world, 20,000 hours in the game. No exaggeration. 20,000 hours. These kids know everything down to a science. And everyone has their own role. So Kenny does everything. Everyone, I'm lucky if Kenny treats me like a peasant. I'm I'm your brother. He's go cut down some trees. I'm thanks, Ken.
Make yourself useful.
Yeah. He's go get some trees. I'm okay.
I was watching Lioness, which is a Taylor Sheridan show on Netflix or something, and they're recruiting a woman to be, because she's a lioness, so she's a spy, but she has to learn how to shoot a certain way. She's a helicopter pilot. She's in the military. So the guy says to her, "Have you played Call of Duty?" She's like, "Yeah, many times." He goes, "All right, so this is how you hold the gun." Or I forget what it's in reference to, but basically this is the first time I've heard them reference a video game.
They've gotten that realistic that you probably could.
But I'm thinking the reverse of what you're saying for the guy with the 20,000 hours.
Oh, yeah.
First day the apocalypse comes, he's like, "I don't know mode.
20,000 hours. God damn it, Brian. What do you...
I can't do anything about clicker.
Where's the... What do you mean there's no revives?
Real gun. We don't do real gun.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I wish you were a fly on the wall to watch Kenny play that because he takes it so seriously. But all those guys do. Him, Matt Nee's really good at it too.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that you think is fun, like when you, and at face value it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
But then you have the people that take it really seriously.
Yes.
And what's interesting about that game is every week or every other week, everything wipes. So you have to start over. That's why I hate it. So it's like every week you have to reset your progress.
That's not a game. That's a
lot.
training scenario. Okay?
That's a lifestyle.
We don't call that a game. That's training.
Okay, hold on. Ready for, this is what blows my mind, Mom. This is how serious some of these kids take it. Kenny tells certain kids in the Discord, like, you have to be up at 3 a.m. just in case it's a raid. People will set alarms.
Don't tell your mother this.
To defend. Well, Kenny doesn't do it. Kenny's the captain. He's like,
put on the
yeah. He's like.
He's in full camo.
Yeah, he's like, Joe. 3 o'clock, there's a good chance we're going to be ready. Can I count on you to set an alarm and wake up at 3? They're like, yes, sir. So they'll be out. They'll do like cycles. Like someone gets up at 8 and Kay's like, I'm up. I'll take over. You get some sleep. It's a lifestyle.
Oh, my God.
People take that so seriously. But...
They better be there when the apocalypse hits.
Yeah, Kenny has his 18. I'm scared. I'm scared to make a.
Pull it together.
I'm scared to make a mistake in there because Kenny's like, just eat him.
Kill him. He's your brother. Kill him. I said kill him.
It's like what's the name of the guy in the first Gladiator?
Oh yeah.
Commodus. Yeah, that's Kenny with that's Kenny with me. He just, brother, please, no, I'm doing my best.
Kill him. Make a lesson of him.
So,
teach Mike a lesson. Brothers go.
I am impressed with how Kenny is good at that game, though. I will say, Kenny's very good at Rust.
So he's ready. He's ready when.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, we're all on an island. The apocalypse comes, and you have to make guns out of shovels. Go beat this rock for some ore. Yeah.
When they were threatening World War III before Trump was elected, I'm like, Mike, it's draft age. And he's like, I'm going to.
Yeah.
What? Going to? He said,
Kenny's like, all right.
I was like,
Kenny, you've aged out. Kenny goes, I'm
going to. He thinks he's going to be like glued to my clothes.
Kenny, Mike on his back. The explosions. Look, it's the Expendables.
Michael backpack. Wherever I go, he goes.
Mike on the back with the guns.
He faces that
way. Just spinning through the 360.
Drop mags and reload. Spin. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh man, yeah, I'll probably go see what they're doing now. So we did about an hour just because we're already running low on time. I wish I had a second, whatever it's called, SIM card. And then I also realized, like, we just went through all of our bladder. Dear Sienna. I need the 125 gigabytes.
This is going to be a great Christmas.
He got 10 of them. He asked for 10 of them.
Oh, my God.
All right, guys. So the only things I have to promote, obviously, we're on kind of a strict schedule with the things that we can do. So I want to try streaming, but at the same time, there's just too much going on that we're probably not going to stream till whenever I'm back home. But we're going to keep videos pretty consistent. I still got a couple speed runs in the bag, and then I've been moving stuff to our NAS system, so that's been helping a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So social media, promo code Streamlinks, Discord down below, and hopefully next week we'll have maybe Kenny and Mike on. We'll see if we can do a 4-man.
Yeah, good luck.
Nice. All right, guys. Later.